So today I was thinking and want to talk about how since I've been able to step out of my business, have it run on its own, one of the big lessons that I learned in the process of doing that is working hard won't save your business. And if we haven't met before, hi, my name is Adam Keeler. I own a home service business here in North Dallas. For the past 5 years, I've worked from getting it from a startup all the way to $1 million a year in revenue. And it was a journey to get there. And I learned a lot of things along the way. And a couple times I've almost put my business into the ground. And so my hope is that this YouTube channel, I'll be able to help you and other small business owners to be able to get to the point where you guys love the business that you're in and you're not constantly stressed out because you feel like you're doing way too many things, wearing too many hats, and you feel like you're doing some of the things that you love and a lot of things that you don't love. So the thing that I want to talk about in this video is hard work won't save your business. And that's a hard thing to hear, especially for me, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs like me. I grew up in a family where we didn't have a lot of money. My dad was in the military, so we were like middle class, sometimes lower middle class. And one of the things that was a constant thing for us was that we work hard. I mean, our family motto was, we work hard, then play hard. Working hard is what you do. And so my dad in the military was a lawyer. He's since retired. And there was one day where he was looking out at these landscapers. And he said, I used to work for that company back when I was a teenager. And he said this to me when I was a lot younger. And he said, it's so good that you can go to school, get an education, and you don't have to be outside and do that hard work. And I remember thinking to him, I don't think I want to go to college so I can sit behind a desk. Like I enjoy that hard work. I grew up working really hard with my hands. Like outdoor work was normal. And so having that mentality and also have that fulfillment with hard work, when I kind of stepped away from different roles in my business, I didn't feel like I was doing enough work in the day. At the end of the day, I could have worked a 10-hour day, but since it wasn't outside doing something like, selling something and like installing something or whatever it was, like if I wasn't doing something, it felt like I didn't do work because that my fulfillment was tied to hard work. And so when people like me say, get to the point where you're not in the business, you're able to be out of the business and do the things that you want, have the business manage itself. And sometimes it falls flat, and I completely understand. I totally get it. And so the thing that I want to talk about, and I want to make sure that you're not just dismissing this topic, because it is a very important topic. It's when you start a business, when you have a startup and you get it probably to about $750,000 in revenue, it definitely depends on the business, like what industry. But let's say you get all the way to 750,000. You need to have an entrepreneur that is the founder of the business, of that startup, that is able to push and work hard. You have to have that, because if you don't, the business won't be made. It just won't happen. In order to start and grow the business between $0 and $750,000 a year in revenue, you have to just put a ton of work that if you did less work, you won't be able to get the results quick enough or enough of it. And so I remember feeling like when people said, you don't need to work hard, work smart, I felt attacked until I heard somewhere that starting your business is very different than running your business. And so hats off to you and me who are able to work hard and create a business from nothing and scale it all the way to where it is now. But the problem is, if you're trying to get where you are now and trying to get it a little bit bigger, it doesn't work that way. I remember thinking that once we hit $1 million a year in business, like we literally doubled every year super fast, got to $1 million. I thought, oh, double is 2 million. It just seemed like such an easy jump. And we never did it. We couldn't do it because to be able to get there, you can't do it with just hard work. And the other side of this is hard work won't save your business. If you feel like your business is falling apart and struggling, you got it to this certain level, it's usually around the 500,000 to $1 million where you'll probably feel that struggle, that it's falling apart. And that's on purpose, that it's meant to happen there. Like It's not anything to do with you, but if you look at it as, I'm just gonna put hard work to save my business, it's not gonna happen. All you're doing is prolonging it just a little bit further before it fails. Sometimes it will just fail on its own, and other times you'll get so burnt out that you're just gonna quit and then it fails. And so what will save your business, or what will get you from $1 million all the way to 2 million, or whatever this outside of $750,000, like how do you go past it? That is through being the entrepreneur of your business that is able to take some time to think about your business. And the reason I say this is, so often we kind of just put our head down and we just kind of go day to day, week to week, and we don't really take the time to step back and think of our business and think about how we can do something a little bit differently, or if something's broken, we just push through it. And a lot of times we feel that urgency and need because we have so much debt that we have to pay off. We have employees that we have to pay. And it just feels like if we take any time to step back and to think about it and kind of fix our business, then it'll probably just fall apart anyways. And I remember thinking that way as well. But I remember the times where I've been able to take the time, whether it was long Sunday walks. There's a park up in North McKinney called Irwin Park that I go to every Sunday for about 3 hours, and I walk and think. Those times, the times where I actually stop and think about different aspects of my business, or I listen to something like a YouTube video like this, and it gets me thinking, or it's times that I've hired a coach and they've asked me certain questions. I had to think about it, where I've been able to stop and think about and figure out, or at least go in the direction of figuring it out, and I've been able to solve some of the problems. And I don't think any of that would have happened if I didn't take the time to think about it, to ask questions. It's hard, and it was hard for me. It's probably hard for you. It's hard for a lot of people. And it's hard for a lot of people that we've worked with. We actually work with a lot of entrepreneurs that are trying to get their business to run on its own so that they can step out of the business and have it be where they've wanted it to be all along, where they're the entrepreneur of their business. So we help entrepreneurs of small businesses, ranging from about $500,000 a year to about $1 million a year in revenue, because that's where all the problems seem to happen. It gets a little bit too big for you to run the entire business the way that you used to do it. You can't just work hard just to solve the problems anymore, because now you need to build systems and teams. We work with a lot of small business owners in this revenue range, and it is life-changing for them. So if you're somebody who feels like hard work is what will solve my problems, I want you to take the time today to step back and just to take time to think about it. Think about things that maybe you could just run a little bit better, or a little bit more smoothly, or a system that you could implement. Just pick one thing that could be better. It could be like the thing that's the most important thing, or the most painful thing right now in your business, and take time to think about it. And if you're somebody that feels like you need to have somebody there to help you out, I would love to help you out. So if you click on the link below, watch the video. It kind of goes over what I've done in my business and the different key things that I've implemented. You can use that to push your business forward. And there'll be a link there that if you want to work with us and have us walk you through all these things so you don't have to figure it out all on your own, then click that link, because there are people who'll be able to figure things out with this YouTube channel, people that will figure things out with that video that I have that walks you through all the key things. But there are a lot of people who actually need that additional help from someone who's been there and just done that. If that's you, then feel free to check it out. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.